just want to welcome you, and I want to thank you for joining and for being a part of this, and for really committing to yourself and to each other to heal together. I think it's really beautiful, and I'm really inspired by all of you. This is my favorite thing to do. I mean, you guys probably all know that for me, I used to be someone who was very sick with lupus and kidney failure and blood clots and pain and migraines and all of those things. And my favorite thing to do is give that gift back to other people that I had, to heal and have a life without pain and a life full of purpose and passion and excitement, without dread about what the next thing is that's going to go wrong. And so I'm very passionate about what I do, and I hope you'll be able to feel that and feel me here with you guys. And so I'm just excited that we're all going to do this together. So what I'm going to do first is, number one, I'm going to review what the protocol is about and make sure you guys understand what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to review the protocol. I'm going to give you some tips for how to make this really effective for you. And then I'm going to give you some homework on what you're going to do after we get off of this live session, so that you're ready to start on Saturday. Saturday, the healthy eating begins. Let's start first with reviewing the protocol. So hopefully you guys all read it. So there's a few things you might have noticed. So one is, it is completely raw. You guys are going to be eating raw foods. Why raw foods? Well, if you watch the FAQ video, it's because we're going to oversupply the most nutrient-dense foods there are, so that we can get your immune system working optimally. And it's amazing how well it works. The only thing that limits how much nutrient-dense food I can get into you is the size of your stomach. So that's why we keep it raw, so that we can optimize how much healing food goes into your body. It's that simple. And it's one of the reasons why I like green smoothies so much, is I found people can drink more greens than they can eat. Back in the old days when we used to do this with just chewing, before I discovered the gloriousness that is the Vitamix, it was eating a pound of greens a day, and people enjoyed that a lot less. So that's the way I did it back when I healed. So that's why we do it that way. Now, you might have noticed there's not a set meal plan, like here's what you have to eat for breakfast, here's what you have to eat for lunch. There's more minimum guidelines, and that's because your stomach is going to be different from every other person's stomach in this group, okay? So the minimum is that you will drink 64 ounces of green smoothie a day, and that is made with really high amounts of greens. So the 75% greens in your blender, those of you who are in Smoothie Shred are familiar with the way we make our smoothies, 75% of that blender should be packed with greens. And then you put your flax seeds in, and then you're going to put your fruit in. Frozen or fresh, I don't care. That's the spoonful of sugar that makes the medicine go down. You're going to fill that up to the level of the greens with water, or unsweetened almond milk if you prefer, and you're going to blend that up. And it'll be your homework to finish 64 ounces by the end of the day. Now, a Vitamix holds 64 ounces. So if you have a Vitamix, it's 64 to 70 ounces when it's full. Just drink the Vitamix by the end of the day. If you have a different blender, you're going to have to calculate how many blenders that is for you, okay? Now, on top of that, it's going to be what you can do. So here's the way I see people do it who have done these programs with me one-on-one. Some people want easy. They just want it to be easy. So they just do smoothies for a month. They're like, whatever, we're doing a smoothie detox, that's what I'm doing, right? And so they literally drink green smoothies to fullness all day long. Other folks, they need to choose something. But they don't need it to be special. They don't need it to be gourmet. They just want to crunch on something. So folks like that will often do smoothies, and then maybe some like broccoli dipped in guacamole. That was one of my favorites. Or, veggie platter. You throw away the ranch and you use guacamole instead, something like that. And then salads, big salads, stuff like that. And then other folks just need something gourmet. Any of you guys gourmet people that need something that feels like something savory and interesting, exciting? Well, if any of you are that, that's why I also include those recipes. So there's meal recipes that you saw too, where you can make interesting salads, you can make different breakfast, lunch, and dinner combinations, but all of that is in addition to the smoothie. It's not instead of. For those of you who just need to have something that feels like an interesting meal, you're going to want to check out those recipes. I have a whole lot of folks who are like, whatever, easy, I don't care, I'll drink smoothies. Me personally, I usually am somewhere in the middle. I like to drink smoothies all day. I love salads. For most times, that's enough for me. But sometimes I feel like a sandwich. And so what I do is I get a big collard green leaf, and then I fill up the leaf with all my salad materials and guacamole and stuff like that. Maybe some soaked nuts that I pureed into like a creamy mixture, like a pate. And I'll roll that up in a collard green, and I'll eat like 3 or 4 of those. I love sandwiches, wraps. So that's something I'll do when I feel like I want something that I can hold and eat in addition to my smoothies. So this is going to be the first week is going to be the exploration for you of how this is going to work best for you. And you might be surprised. You might be so full on smoothie, you don't want any other food. And for some folks, it really is that way. They literally drink the 64 ounces and they barely got it all in. And then that's it. They're going to bed. They're not doing anything else. Okay. For other folks, I've had people be able to drink 2 full blenders a day. Okay. And they'll do 2 full blenders a day and eat. Okay. So you're really going to find your own way. And the only way for us to know is for you to get started. So you're going to start the smoothies and you're going to have other food ready. I encourage you to have the ingredients ready to, make a salad or some broccoli to dip or something like that. And so when you get started over the few days, you're going to see what you crave. Okay. If you're happy with smoothies and salads, life's easy. You can do that. If you're happy with just smoothies, it's fine. The key is, and I want you to write this down and remember it, is to be full all the time. This is not a starvation program. This is not a fast of any kind. This is hyper nourishment. We are oversupplying the nutrients your body needs for healing and for fighting inflammation. We are oversupplying them. And the only way to do that is to be super full all day long. I don't want you hungry. If you're hungry, eat more or drink more. Okay? So the next thing you're going to notice is you have to have at least a half a cup of flax seeds or chia seeds every day. Now, the reason for that is those are anti-inflammatory and they also optimize cellular function. They raise your metabolic rate and they actually create, they're the ingredients that create the anti-inflammatory immune cells. So for a lot of you who are here, you've got inflammatory illness, you've got autoimmune disease, you've got some kind of chronic inflammatory condition. The omega-3s are the magic we're going to use to hack into your immune system and fight back. Now, I want you to get a half a cup a day. You can put that all into your smoothie if you want. And for some folks, that's what they do, half cup right in. Now, the flax and omega-3s, they thicken your smoothie up. So for some folks, it's just too thick and they can't drink it like that. That's fine. You can experiment with putting less in, like maybe a quarter cup. And if that doesn't work out for you, then you can, and you just like it really, really liquidy, then just drink it as it is, but you're going to have to eat them separately. So you have to make sure that you have ground up the omega-3, so the flax or the chia seeds, right before you consume them. So they have to be whole seeds. I don't want you buying pre-ground seeds. They have to be whole seeds. And you can either grind them up in your smoothie with your blender, or you can grind them up separately. And if you don't want them in the smoothie, which is the easiest way, the smoothie solution is the easiest, everything's in there. But if you have leftover flax or you don't have it in there, you can grind it up in some almond milk and maybe blend it with some almond milk and some banana and put it in the fridge, and it'll turn into a pudding that you can eat later. You can even just grind it up with water and it turns into a gel and you can just eat the gel. It has no flavor at all. I personally don't mind it. I think it's kind of cool. It's got like a squishy, it squishes in your mouth. My husband and I think it's actually pretty cool. I've had one client who said it was disgusting and I should never tell people to do that, but I just met someone today who says she does that too. So you can experiment with it. So you can make it sweet, a little almond milk, banana, blend it up, put it in the fridge for about 5 hours. You got pudding, or you literally can just put it all in the smoothie, which is the easiest. But you have to get that done by the end of the day. The other thing you need to get done by the end of the day is your water. So I want you to calculate right now. Your water intake should be an ounce per pound of body weight up until a gallon, which is 126 ounces. So I want you right now to write down how many pounds you are. And if you're someone who measures in kilograms, you're gonna have to convert that for me, okay? So measure how many pounds you are, and then that equals how many ounces you should have up to a gallon. So basically, if you're over 126 pounds, 126 ounces is what you're shooting for. If you're under 126 ounces or 126 pounds, then you're going to shoot for 1 ounce per pound of your body weight. So hopefully that makes sense. And again, if you have a question, put that in the comments and I will answer that. Now, the minimum amounts of water I've seen necessary for people to make a dramatic change in their body is 96 ounces. And this is just based on watching people go through these programs over and over again. If your water is low, your results will plateau sooner. So I know it's a lot, then actually more people struggle with the water than the smoothies. Every once in a while I meet someone who drinks crazy amounts of water and it's no problem, but for most folks that's a lot. I can tell you how I do it. I have, this right here is 40 ounces, so I just drank 3 of these. That's it. I drank 3 of these and I've got about a gallon of water. And that's not even counting the water I put into my smoothie. You can count that. So what I advise you to do, so I'm going to get into a tip right now. A tip is get a gallon water bottle, okay? Get a gallon water bottle, and if you're drinking less than a gallon, then measure out how much it is into there, and write a line right on the bottle of how much water you need per day. Fill that up every morning, and then every time you make something that has water in it, you take the water out of that jug so you can pour the water into your blender to make your smoothie. I find it takes about 40 ounces of water to make a blender full of smoothie. So that means there's only, 86 ounces to go. That's 2 cups of water. That's not so bad, right? So include what's in your smoothie, but don't include how much the smoothie is, just the water that went in. And I know for some of you that's a really difficult part, but it's magical. And if you don't keep the water up, 1, you'll have more detox, and 2, you'll have slower results. And we're here to have fast results, right? We are here to 100% just attack inflammation as rapidly as possible. And so each step in this is vital to doing that. The combination of the high amounts of water, the high amounts of omega-3, and the high amounts of these nutrient-dense raw foods are a magical combo that just starts decimating inflammation more rapidly than anyone else has ever seen. So I really want you to commit to that. Now, you do have time to get this into play. Most people figure it out the first week. Now, normally when I do this one-on-one with people, it's a 4-week program. I made this 6 weeks just to give you guys time to figure this out together, okay? And to feel like your first week you can figure it out. Try to get it right from day 1, but if you don't, what I want you to do is use the group to say, oh man, I only got up to 80 ounces of water a day. What can I do? And someone else might have a great idea that I didn't mention. Someone might be like, oh, you know what? I just did this, or I added this, or, you'll have all these other people in the group to tell you what they did and give you support. So I really want you to use each other. Same thing with the smoothies. Sometimes people will ask me, well, how much should I drink at once? One woman, I'm telling you the truth, told me, if I drink more than 40 ounces of smoothie, I feel like I'm going to puke. How much should I have? And I said 40 ounces, because drink until right before vomiting. Like, I don't want you to vomit. So if you're someone who's like me, you've been drinking 40 ounces of smoothie for breakfast, fabulous. You're almost done, right? But if you're someone that if you drink more than 20 ounces, you start feeling like you're going to just, then don't do that. Start out with, 10. So if you have 64 ounces, you can actually have 10 to 12 ounces, 5 to 6 times a day, right? So you can figure it out. And again, that's what the first week is for, is to figure out how this is going to work for you. If you can pound the liquids, great. You can have more than 64 ounces. The people that I've seen that have drank more than that, they get better even faster because their cells are like flooded in antioxidants and phytonutrients and all these phytoenzymes and all the vitamins and minerals they need. And so it accelerates the healing even faster. But if you do the minimums that I recommend, you're going to get really good results, okay? So that's what I want you to be okay with, taking that time to get really good at this. So in addition to the smoothies, you can have unlimited raw vegetables. You can have unlimited raw fruit. I advise you to do more vegetables than fruit just because people get better results. And when it comes to nuts and seeds outside of the flax and chia seeds, unlimited. It's just that some people find when they start getting super high, they get runny stool, because if you don't absorb the fats, they will slip and slide right out of you. So, that's why I say start with a half a cup, but you can have more than that if you want. But the nuts and seeds outside of that, so raw almonds, raw anything, walnuts, cashews, you can have those, but limit the total of all of those to half cup a day. So whatever other nuts you're having, the total amount should be half a cup a day. And the reason for that is, while they have some really great nutrients in them, they are also high in omega-6, and omega-6 is inflammatory. So we want to use them just enough to add flavor and fun and crunch to the things that you're eating, but not to overpower how much omega-3s you're eating. And actually, one of the things that I've always done is whenever I try to change my body, anytime I have something really rich in omega-6, like peanuts or something, I'll immediately go have the same amount of omega-3 to just balance it back out again. So it's something you can do as well. But try to keep it, if you keep it to the level of total of half a cup, you should be fine. Okay, now for other instructions, I want you to look at, if you have it in front of you, if not, pull it up when you can. I want you to look at the actual worksheet. Every single day, I'm going to post in the group day 1, day 2, day 3. And underneath each post that says day something, I want you to post a picture of your food journal for that day. Okay, so you're going to see day 1 coming up on Saturday night, whenever you're done eating and drinking for the night, whenever you're done, about to go to sleep, not putting anything else in my body, you take a picture of it and you post it to the comments under that day. Now, here's what you need to know about that. Number 1, write down everything you eat and drink. So even if it wasn't on the program, if you did a drive-by by somebody's candy bowl at work, you have to write down the drive-by. You got to write down exactly what you put in there, okay? If you have anything, I mean, some of the greatest work I've done with people has been when they admitted something they weren't supposed to eat onto the diary. And I was able to ask them, what part of you is trying to fail right now? And when you sit with that, when you truly sit with that, something really important tends to come up. But I can only give that kind of feedback and support. And our friends here in the group can only give you that if you're honest. So if you don't write down, candy or a piece of cake or whatever it is that snuck in there, then we can't give you the feedback. So I want you to know, first of all, there's no judgment here. And I hope all of you agree that we're not going to judge each other. We're not going to criticize each other. This is a place of love and healing. And I want this to be a safe place for love and healing, where you can be totally vulnerable. All right. I don't want you to feel like you have to make your diary look perfect, or I'm going to single you out and be like, hey, what the hell? Who's eating cake? No, but I want to be able to address it with you. I want to be able to talk you through it. I want to help you overcome it, because what's going to show up here during the 6 weeks is going to be the same kind of stuff that shows up in your life. Okay, there are times if you're sabotaging your health or your diet in this group, you are sabotaging yourself in other ways. And so what I've found is this healing program, while it's meant to heal disease and inflammation, a lot of the healing comes up as emotional. And it might be because I'm a shrink, so I can't help it, but I'm a psychiatrist too. But I really feel like when you truly are vulnerable and you commit yourself to healing and you commit yourself to being open, then you can heal your heart and your mind as well as your body at the same time. And I want this to be a place where all of you can have that too. So please, please, please write down everything that you're eating, okay? Now, I want you to look at the form and notice across the top, you're going to see these areas where it says scales from 1 to 10, your mood, pain, inflammation, sleep. Fill those out every single day, okay? Now, if you write down a pain, write down underneath it or in the comments what the pain is. So if you write 3 out of 10 pain, write down knee pain or write down shoulder pain. Or if there's more than one pain and you write 3, 7, 9, then write 3 equals shoulder, 7 equals knees, 9 equals big toe, right? It's really, really important. I had somebody recently who her pain had gone from a 10 down to a 2. And I'm like, this is the best. It's working so well. And then it went down to 0. And then all of a sudden it was a 4. And I went, wait, what happened? She goes, oh, I went to the gym. Well, cool. I'm so glad you went to the gym. But you didn't write that down. So I thought your joint pain was back. Meanwhile, it was muscle pain because she was, pumping iron, which is fabulous. So if we're going to track how things are going with your pain, then make sure you write down what those pains are. And if a pain goes to 0, then still write it as 0 and then write down, knee pain is now 0. Okay, so hopefully you understand that. Fill those out every day. If they're all 0s, fine. We track your sleep as well. We track your mood as well. Mood 10 out of 10 is hallelujah, this is the best day of my life. And then 0 is like, I wish I wasn't alive. Okay, and 5 is, I'm here. All right, I usually take kind of normal mood, feeling pretty good, but not like it's my birthday, like to be like 6, 7, 8 area, okay? 5 is like, not sad, not happy. Below 5 is feelings of sadness, okay? So that's really, really important to fill all those things out. When you're filling out your food journal, please write down the amounts of everything you eat, solid foods in cups and liquids in ounces. And if you're eating something like an apple, you don't have to cut up the apple and measure it in cups. You can say 1 apple, 1 orange, 1 banana, that's fine. But when it comes to your greens, I want cups. And most blenders have measurements. The Vitamix blender, if you fill it up to 3/4, that usually meets the 6-cup line. So you can do it that way and say, oh, 6 cups of greens, but I want you to put down what they are, okay? So I want that all measured out. Please use the form I gave you. Every once in a while, someone just did this to me today. They hand wrote their own version of it, and I'm like looking, where's the water? What's going on? I can't do that. That'll take me forever to figure out what's happening. My brain is attuned to that worksheet. I know exactly where to look and where to figure it out. Please use it as it is, okay? Now, also use that comment section. The comment section at the bottom, that is the area where you're going to write wins. So when I say win, I mean anything good, like, holy crap, my energy is awesome today, or, oh my God, my knee pain's finally gone. Those are great things, right? Also, struggles. I'm really struggling not to get all my water in today, or I ended up at the supermarket today and I got hungry and I didn't have anything with me, which the supermarket's a bad example because you can literally grab an apple and eat it. So maybe not the supermarket, but you know what I'm saying. You know, any struggle that you're having, because I can help you plan for next time, okay? The other thing that you can do with that comment section, you can write anything about your pains. You can write other questions for the group, but you can also post those in the group too. One of the things I love is when people, like if you know you're going to a restaurant, post that to the group and say, hey guys, I'm going to Chili's tomorrow. No idea how I'm going to stay on the diet. What do you think? And you'll get a whole bunch of answers. You know, anything from call the chef in advance to what I usually say, order the biggest salad you can find with all the veggies you can and put some guacamole and salsa on it, right? Or have your smoothie before you leave and bring some raw nuts with you. Or, you know what I mean? So you just post anything that you feel like might be a barrier or something you're worried about, post that. And let us all give you support and advice, okay? So that's how those worksheets are going to work. So here's how I want you to use the group. So as I already mentioned, every day under where it says day 1, day 2, you're going to post your photograph of your worksheet, and that's going to be completed, and it's going to be done whenever you're done. If you're eating till 2 a.m., then you post it at 2:01 a.m., okay? We will see it whenever it's completed, okay? Number 2, asking for things. Ask for a recipe if you need to. Ask for support if you need it. Most of us nowadays are pretty darn active on Facebook. I gotta say that I am on Facebook a lot. I get notifications. I want notifications from you guys. So use this to post your to post your questions. It could be even a recipe. It could be like, oh my God, I want a dessert right now. Anyone have any suggestions? Anything like that. Use it to ask questions. Also use it to ask for support. If it's like, man, I'm bummed out today because I missed macaroni and cheese, post that and let us support you. So when I say it's not a place of negativity, I mean, we're not going to turn on each other. We're not going to criticize each other. But if you're feeling low, then let us support you and fill you up. If you're missing macaroni and cheese, maybe we have some ideas for you. Maybe we have ideas to help you feel better. Maybe one of us can just make you laugh. But you know, maybe just a reminder that we're all in it together. So use the group to really reach out to each other. The only way, this could be the most phenomenal, amazing experience in your life, but you got to use it. You got to be active in here. And I hope you guys can all make a pledge to each other that you're going to show up for each other too. Because I know a whole lot of people who are bad at showing up for themselves, but they'll do anything for someone else. And I think that could be some of the power of this group is you showing up is going to help motivate others, and you are also going to be here to help motivate and take care of your other co-group members, okay? So here's going to be your action tasks for the next few days, and then I'm going to go to all your questions, okay? So the first action task is I want you to make sure you have a water jug. What I have seen make somebody successful at getting all their water in is they have a water jug big enough to carry all their water. If you have a 20-ounce water bottle with you, you're going to drink 20 ounces of water, and when it's empty, nothing's going to happen, okay? So make sure you have your water jug, and if you need to mark the amounts on there, for some folks, they feel like it's the end of the day and they still have half a gallon to drink, and then they drink it, and then they'll be up all night going, thanks a lot for making me do this, I can't sleep, right? We don't want that. We want you to finish your water by about dinner time so that you're not up all night. So sometimes it helps if you draw a line that says the times, like by 5 o'clock I want to drink this, 6, 7, 8, for example. So get your water jug. 2, I want you to go through all the smoothie recipes and all of the food recipes, the meal recipes, and I want you to find 3 of each that sound good to you, okay? 3 of the smoothie recipes that sound good to you and 3 of the meal recipes that sound good to you, okay? 3 of each. And I want you to post what they are. Okay, so I'm going to have you post. So one, you're going to get your water bottle, and I want you to take a picture of your water bottle, or even better, you with your water bottle. Okay. Two is I want you to pick your recipes, and I want you to say what they are. These are the recipes that sound really fun to me. Okay. 3 is I want you to go to the supermarket and prepare, because we're going to start on Saturday. So what you're going to want to do is, one, you're going to want to buy your greens. You have a choice. For any of those smoothie recipes, you can use really any greens you want. If you prefer going to Costco and getting giant bags of power greens, get those. You want big bags of spinach because spinach is more mild to start with, then get those. If you're someone who doesn't mind that kale is bitter and you're just going to go for it, then get the kale, right? But get your greens set, all right? So, and that is a tip too, by the way. If you're new to smoothies, spinach or power greens are going to be more mild. Kale takes some time to get used to, okay? So I want you to go shopping and get your greens and get the fruits that you need to make those smoothies. Your fruit can be frozen or fresh, because the fruit's just to make the smoothie taste good. So if you want a pineapple mango smoothie, then you can buy frozen pineapple mango if you want. If you're using fresh fruit, make sure you use ice, because it'll get cooked in the blender if you don't, and it tastes terrible, okay? So those are 3 things I want you to do and post. You got your water jug, you got your 3 recipes for smoothies and 3 recipes for meals, and 3, you're going to go shopping. And I want you to take a picture of your come up from the supermarket, okay? And I'll post the action tasks to the group too, so you can see it. So I want a picture of you with your come up, or if you're not hip to the lingo, you with all the stuff you bought. So you can take a picture of all the food that you bought from the supermarket. Okay, so that is the basics for what you need to do to get started. All right, guys, I hope you have a great night, get some good sleep, get started on your homework, and I look forward to seeing you and supporting you here in the group. Mwah! I'll see you guys soon. Bye.